So like, I mean, what the biggest thing is people, I guess, what asks is like, what made you just start wanting to cook? I mean, especially not just cook because everybody cooks, but like, what made you want to be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna cook it, but then I'm gonna show the world what I could do.
Well, I mean, TikTok made that possible.
Right.
You know, you couldn't. It was kind of hard to on any platform. I guess you could have did YouTube, but it was just easy. COVID hit, and a lot of your different creators popped up and did really well, and that's kind of where I started. I just made one little silly video, and
it went off. Huh?
And it kind of went off a little bit, and I said, all right, well, people are watching it. Let's do another one, and then
That's how it usually happens too. Like
how
just
it
like
happens.
you post one video,
yeah.
the video take off.
Make a bullshit
Once
video.
you do it, like bro, the amount of people that fucking post like stupid shit,
Yeah.
and it just pops off like that,
Stuff.
you know.
So, change your life. Where did that come from?
Well, you know, I used to always say, boy, if I can get a gig like that and make some money, boy, that'd change your life. If I could land this job and make this, that'd change your life. That'd change your life. You know, and I just figured out at some point that not everything is about the money. And I kind of took the food, which, you know, everybody's into. And there's nothing discriminating about the food in any way. You cook it, man, 10 different people can come around here and eat. Black, white, different voting parties than me, and you know that's the kind of it just kind of brings it together.
Like
so,
food, just feel like it just brings the community.
So when I
together
cook
no
something
matter
and it's
what.
good, you know, I say, hey man, that food right there changed your life, and
Yeah.
and I think that's really it's a true testament to the way things should be in the world, and it's not always about the money, and it's easy to get wrapped up in the money.
Oh yeah.
But just like you said though too, like how you said like food brings everybody together,
Absolutely.
especially down here.
Yeah.
Like I think people really take it like for granted, like the jambalaya cook-offs we have, the crawfish cook-offs we have, et cetera, et cetera. It keeps going down because at that point it don't matter what you look like, what you believe in, how you believe, et cetera, et cetera. We all there to enjoy our time. We all there to enjoy our food.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what it is, you know.
Absolutely.
So like especially in southern Louisiana and the South in general, like food really does bring people together.
Absolutely.
Astronomically.
Have you done like any cook-offs? Like have you
I
brought
did a
your food
couple
over there?
small local cook-offs.
Okay.
I
I wasn't too sure, to be
I
honest.
did a couple that went really all for charity. I mean, everything I do is just, you know, a lot of this is for charity.
Yeah.
The money I make on TikTok, I donate it to Children's Hospital. I do alligator hunts, and I don't charge anybody. I mean, I charge them, but that money goes straight to St. Jude's
Yeah.
Hospital. So, you know, that's everything that I kind of do. I'm trying to just pay it back a little bit. You
Pay it
know,
forward, yeah.
I done went through the struggle. I made my money. I'm where I'm at in life. I'm doing good. I'm blessed. Cooking's just something that you know, is a way for me to give back. And then you know, y'all know sometimes I'll cook and there'll be 10, 15 people back here eating.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm worried, do I have enough food? You know, but it always seems to go around. A lot of times I make a pot of something back here, and man, everybody gets some. You know,
Yeah.
Right. So like, obviously you're big. I mean, what you just said is like big into family gatherings, big into like friends coming over, hanging out. Like, I guess most people get so caught up in the world of like, so caught up in that social media grind where it's just as simple as just be yourself, be with your friends, be with your family, no matter what it is, you know. And like, I guess people, like I keep saying, just take that for granted. They want to live this lavish lifestyle and you can't.
Yeah.
And like one thing I learned from you, even when I was younger, it's like no matter how you get it, how you live, you can be broke, you can be successful. It doesn't matter. Like, you keep your faith, you keep your family close, and everything will fall in place.
And look, it's not hard to cook a gourmet meal. It's not expensive. I'm not saying if you went and bought expensive caviar or something like that, but like where we live, you know, we blessed to have, man, almost any kind of fish you want.
Seafood
Shrimp,
capital of the world,
oysters, we can kill deer, ducks, rabbits. You know, we got everything to cook with. It really doesn't cost a whole lot to feed people.
Yeah.
And even if you had to go to the store, you know, you don't have to buy the expensive stuff.
Correct.
You know, you could do the turkey necks and you know, smother pork chops down. All them things is really good meals that people enjoy. And look, some of these high-end restaurants, that's what they serve in that, with a little bit of garnish on the side, and you think you're getting something.
You're charging it 120 bucks.
Yeah,
for
right.
fucking-
You know,
yeah.
so.
So what, like, how did you start cooking? Like, when did you first like start cooking? You were like, shit, I'm actually pretty good
Yeah,
at
like
this shit.
piggyback on that.
Like-
Like where'd you learn? Because you could just say like all the stuff that we had down
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
I could bring an average person a red snapper. They can be like, I don't know. Well, at least
Exactly.
that was before YouTube, TikTok, and everything. When you
Right.
could look it up. Like, but before that, there wasn't. Like, I mean, I'm sure there was cooking shows on TV.
Look, dude, just cooking's been a part of my life. So, like, man, from the time that I woke up in the morning, laying in bed, you look, my mama was in the kitchen. She was chopping onions, preparing something for that evening, you know, because we never ate out. We didn't have a lot of money, so my mama always, she cooked. So I always could remember it. I could smell it. There wasn't a time that I didn't get up. She wasn't preparing a meal for my dad and the family that day. So I kind of just watched her. I watched my grandma. I watched Justin Wilson on TV, which, look, if you watch him and then when it's over, you ain't going back because there was no way to rewind it when I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd watch it and I'd put an idea together. And honestly, I'd wait for my mama to leave. She'd leave the house and go shopping, or my dad would do something. And dude, I destroyed the whole kitchen. She'd come back, every pot would be out. I'd have rabbits cut up.
That's
And
funny
dude,
as
she
shit.
used to get so pissed. But that's really how I learned. And then, you know, it wasn't long after that, you know, we had a camp in a marsh that I started going to stay at by myself or like with my friends at maybe 11 years old. You know, my mom and them, it was safer for me to be out there than it was
Right.
in the neighborhood. So look, I had a little boat with a 9.9 motor, and look, with me and my buddy Fats, we'd go raid everything in our mama's kitchen cabinets. We'd get canned goods, this and that. He had a brother that worked at Popeyes, so we always had grease and batter. And look, we go to the camp. I'm talking no electricity, lanterns. We did have running water from a cistern, but we would go there and whatever we shot, if we shot ducks or nutria or rabbit or caught fish, we was cooking in the camp
Cooking
on the
that
Coleman
mother,
stove, and that's where I learned. I mean, we cooked some shit sometimes. It was like, God damn, are we gonna eat that? But we did, you know, and we learned.
Yeah.
And that's really how I you know came about cooking, you know.
Yeah.
And then I had to cut you short, but like, I shouldn't say this, but my first wife, she couldn't cook a lick, you know. So I always had to cook to feed us, you know.
Right. So what's your favorite thing to cook? If you could go
Like
to-
if you had one meal.
You go to the grocery store, everything's free. You can have everything in the world in there. What you picking, what you cooking, or if you don't go to the grocery store, you go into
Yeah,
the
I
grocery
mean,
store, get what you
look,
want.
I don't usually buy my seafood from a grocery store, but I'm gonna have to go with seafood.
Seafood, okay.
You know, if you said one thing, I don't know, but I could eat shrimp and fish and oysters probably every day of the week.
Yeah.
And if you had to go with the second thing that you had to eat and live on, I would have to say deer, because you could take a deer and you could make a really good filet steak out of it. You could cook a shoulder down in a red gravy or sauce piquant with spaghetti or rice. You know, you could grind it up and make hamburgers. You could make sauce. There's a lot of things you could do with a deer. So, and that's something that's pretty available for us here.
Yeah.
And that I would
It's
say
pretty
that.
lean and healthy too, huh?
It's
like very lean.
It's very lean, absolutely. You know.
What as far as like do you have any trusted seafood restaurants that you go to on a regular just to support, or either you go to the restaurant because you know, like, hey, like, this ain't some fake shit. Like, this
Let me
is
tell
like
you, dude,
some real shit.
Rocky and Carlos, I'll roll up in there and get an oyster platter. and I think it, I mean,
Feed on that for about 2-3 days too by yourself.
yeah, you know, I go get that and my onion rings. I think they good oysters. I don't think they pasteurized. They fresh. So, I mean, that's my one place that I would go eat
Like on a
seafood.
regular.
You know, there's other places in the city that I like. You know, I like to go to Giacomo's.
Okay.
They got a real good they got good fish dishes like mahi mahi, and sometimes they got snapper, and that's one of my favorite little restaurants that I like to eat.
Yeah.
So give me your top 5 in the metropolitan area of your favorite food to eat. No type of, like specific type of food. It could be all things.
And look, we say metro area, but I know, especially like my family, and I know y'all do too. Mississippi too, because around that Gulf Coast area, they got a couple restaurants in Mississippi.
Yeah, like the whole Bay St. Louis scene over there, it changed, man. There's a couple of nice restaurants right there by the Blind Tiger. I'm not gonna. Blind Tiger is good to go get a bushwhacker, but believe me, I'm not looking to go eat there. I don't really care for their food.
It's like little bar food.
Little bar food. You can go across the street. They got a couple of really high end restaurants that got good stuff.
Like. How do I even say this? Like, I guess not our culture type of food. Like, I love like taco trucks. I love. I mean, we talked about the Latin grocery, the Jamaican jerk house down the city. Like, all that stuff's good. Are you open to eating that type of stuff?
Look, dude, I'm a diehard food truck dude. I'm gonna tell y'all, before Katrina, you had a lot of your, seafood, your Rockies, your name brand, your Brennan's, all that stuff was here. Mother's Pull Boys, but after Katrina, you started to get all your taco trucks, all of these Mexican restaurants that were different, sometimes Cuban restaurants. Look, on Parish Road, right after Katrina, they used to have a guy, they ran him out because he was just serving, out of his truck, and then they was trying to get businesses to reopen, and they felt that was hurting them, but there used to be a guy on Parish Road, and then we needed to eat. And that was one of the few places you could eat. Look, he had a stump on the front lawn where a tree had fell down, and you could pass that place during the day, and they was chopping up whole chickens, man. I mean, just whacking them, and they was cooking them on a big open grill. And you got that with rice and beans and tortillas. Yeah. And that was good food, But that was just something that was new that happened after Katrina, because you didn't have that kind of stuff, And then, so like, back to, say, hey, what's the favorite places to eat? Like one of my favorite is a place in New Orleans East called Ba Ming. It's Vietnamese cuisine, really good stuff. It's fresh. Their shrimp is fresh. It's not frozen. It's not IQF. It's not Chinese. It's good stuff. So, I used to eat there. Two sisters, man. I think they're out of business right now. The last time I passed, they were
cook though, man.
But that was like some really badass soul food.
Oxtail was unbelievable.
Oxtail was really good there. I like Giacomo's. I like Muriel's. Man, I like that food truck right there by Catherine Avenue in the 9th Ward. They've been there. They've been there damn near probably.
What is it? La Coyote?
La Coyote, something like that.
They're like big. They're everywhere. Like they have like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, they got a couple of them.
He's got a few trucks.
So back into a little bit of change your life, like we talking about. What's your goals with this? I mean, everybody just says like, oh, I mean, obviously you have the people that do it for the money. You already said you don't, but like, what do you hope to accomplish with this? Do you like hope to build like organization with it?
I really would hope in the next few years that I could pretty much retire. I'm at that point with rental properties that I've grown and purchased and made work over the last 20 years. So my goal is to build a trailer, and anytime there's an event, look, I've been to a lot of your places that had tragedies, with floods. Baton Rouge flooded, Franklinton Parish flooded, the tornado in Araby. So, when these things happen, for Katrina, look, we were on our own. You had the Red Cross. You had some churches that brought food. I would really like to take this and grow. Take my a 20-foot trailer I have and make that a food truck. Where when something does happen, look, I could roll up. I have my deep freezers, my generator. I could roll up and feed 50, 100, maybe 150 people in a day. With jambalaya or something on the grill or frying fish. And for me, look, that's the when you're catching people that's in a bad time. Just like we talked about, it don't matter, color and all of that shit. It's out the window when the shit hits the fan, dude. Everybody's together in a community that gets torn up by whatever it might be, you know, a natural disaster. And look, all them people standing there in line the day before might have been hating on each other, but they all eating off the same plate or same, you know, assembly line or whatever you want to call it, you know.
And just like you said, there ain't nothing like a home cooked meal.
Nothing like
especially
a home
when
meal.
you're through that. Like, I mean, we talked about like people going through natural disasters. Some people eating like chili out of a fucking can just to get through. So it's nothing like just going to get like a nice hot home cooked meal, you know.
And I love that outlook too, because just like you said, I feel like especially nowadays with all the politics and all that shit, all the propaganda, that shit's supposed to, they put out that shit to divide us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And the people that are smart enough know it, but you know, once a disaster happens and you understand, hey, the government don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like they really don't. Right. Now it's everybody that's in that community. They got to be there for each other.
So look, like when the Red Cross truck would come down the street and feed people, hey, I'm glad they came. Because we never had anything to eat around here. I mean, that was jack shit. I mean, this whole parish was completely decimated. Every store was completely shut down and flooded. And then, boy, you'd hear that food truck coming down the street with the Red Cross. Look, you'd run out there, whoever you was with, you know, go run and get us a couple of plates. Look, you'd open them up. I don't even know what the shit it was. you might have ground meat with macaroni and scrambled eggs. Like, what the hell kind of combination's that? But you know what? We ate it. It was either that or MRE.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a hot meal for today. So, look, if I could go into these places and go for a couple of days and cook, man, I think that would be a really good thing.
Awesome.
You know, cook something that's really good food and give people some hope. You know what I'm saying? Being through the tragedies that I've been through. Look, I've been through tornado. I've been through flood. I've been through COVID. I've been through a major fire that completely almost wiped me out. I've been through all these things. And look, sometimes there was nobody there for me to lean on, dude. I just had to do it and get back to where I needed to be. So if I could go in a place and give somebody some encouragement and feed them, you know, that's really my goal with this Change Your Life.
Yeah, man, that's huge, man. I mean, just like you said, though, like, obviously we've all known this that's right here sitting down. It's like we know you're a genuine person. We know, like, you're not doing this for the money. You're doing this because you want to help somebody. I mean, it could be as simple as, like, your TikTok video could reach out to somebody, like, a single mom that's struggling, and you just cooked the easy meal she watched on TikTok, and she's like, oh, man, this helped me a lot. You know, my family got to eat on this for a week, and it helped me. So, like, that's huge what you're doing.
Shit,
you know?
he told me that like 2 or 3 years ago, before he even started the TikTok.
I know,
shit.
He's been
like,
wanting to do it.
Like, look, I'm like, once something happens, I'm trying to get enough money where I can just go out anytime I fucking want. You know, and I like it. Like, I think it's for the right reason. I feel like the people that get caught up in that shit are the ones that are money hungry.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, once you take the money out of it and you're really just trying to be there for everybody.
Yeah. And look,
that's
there's nothing against making money on social media. I see people doing it. Hey, and I'm happy for them. Look, if I didn't have other avenues that I had, you know, mailbox money, hey, I probably would be hitting it hard and maybe trying to live off of it or something, you know. Yeah, maybe even OnlyFans. I don't know. You never know in this fucking world, you know.
Feet finder?
Hey, bro, you post a couple feet pics, them bitches gonna be
right.
sending you money.
You know, and then, you know, you asked me about, you know, what was, you know, the goal of Change Your Life, or, you know, who have I reached. Let me tell y'all, I had a guy one time at an event came and talked to me. I seen the guy, you know, just kind of looking at me weird. And I even told my wife, I said, look, I think that guy, he wants to talk to me, but he don't know how to talk to me. But finally he came and talked to me. So he's like, hey, man, you that dude on TikTok? I said, yeah. So, you know, we talked, and he said, man, I really like your food. And we went back and forth. And he says, you know, man, he says, I really appreciate you. And I said, for what, you know? He said, man, my son tried to commit suicide, and he didn't succeed. And he said, one of the things my son and I do now, he says, as soon as I see one of your videos, my son will call me and say, hey, you see what that crazy dude posted? And the guy say, hey, man, when I get off the boat, we're going to come home and we're going to cook that.
That's
so,
awesome, man.
You know, look, that's something I never thought, you know, I could have reached somebody just by a 3-minute clip, you know, back here cooking, help somebody. So anything that I could do to cook and help somebody, that's what I'm about.
makes you like see shit in a different view too. It's
Mhm.
like I didn't realize me fucking around with my friends, just cooking to mess with them, could change somebody in that aspect. You
Mhm.
know, so it definitely makes you open your eyes and realize like, even if you have a small impact on the world, it can be something really big
Yep.
for somebody like that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, we take things for granted sometimes, you know, and we just
Everybody.
you don't think nothing of it, but to somebody else, it's a big thing.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How you do you think you ever be able to like get big enough or have that amount of money where you can go to like, would you be willing to go to like other states? Because I know like with Texas, they just had all them floods and shit.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I mean?
And look, I think, you know, I'm stable enough financially that I don't know if I could feed 1,000 people or 2,000 people, but it wouldn't be nothing for me to load that thing up with $800, $1,200 of groceries, and I think I can go cook for somebody with that.
Yeah.
And it'll help. You know, look, who knows, if you get there and start cooking, you might have other people donating, you know, replenishing all the things, and then I might be there for 2 weeks. I have no idea, but I mean, that's just my goal, where I want to go to cook and do that kind of stuff, and I'm prepared to do it. I don't need any money from anybody to do it. When I'm ready to do it, I do it. Now, if I get to a point where, you know, I'm feeding that many people, it becomes a big event, I might have to ask people for some donations.
Oh yeah,
you know?
and honestly, I think people would definitely donate. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, listen, even the non-profits nowadays, I've heard some, you know, horror stories with that type of shit. They still, you know, the CEO's making fucking $1 million a year. It's like, well, how the fuck you claiming you're a non-profit?
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
I mean, you never know. You say like, it might not go anywhere. It might not. I mean, you think of like people that's down here, like the Cajun Navy. That was just like eventually 2-3 people.
That is true.
Now it's a community. You know?
Complete grassroots event that took off. I mean, God, dude, that Cajun Navy's big now.
Yeah,
and,
so like,
and
you
they
never
there,
know.
dude. I mean, look, you don't even have to ask before you even think about if they're gonna be there at a flood in Texas or they there. You know, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you just never know.